Well, of course, coming up at the end of March, we have the Planning Intentions Report, and there's a lot to look forward to in that report in terms of what we will learn. Joined now by Jason Meyer of agmarket.net for the daily market summary. Jason, here today, we had the WASDE report from USDA. What did we learn?
The government said the grain industry has had too much fun for the last week here, so they pretty much punted on the USDA report. There was no changes to the corn balance sheet and very minimal changes to the soybean balance sheet. And then on the world stage, they did lower Argentina corn and beans a little bit, and then did increase Brazilian beans fractionally. But really, the big market mover is going to be the prospective plantings and quarterly stocks that's going to come on March 31st.
So, Jason, with no changes made here for the domestic numbers, does that mean we will move on just immediately from this with all that's happening right now as it relates to the conflict in the Middle East? And like you mentioned, that report that we have to look forward to at the end of March?
It does feel like fundamentals are on the back burner right now. Crude oil, the energy markets, if energy goes higher, the grains are going higher. If energy goes lower, the grains are going lower. So until we can separate ourselves from that, just put fundamentals on the back burner for a little while here.
And could you explain a little bit further that relationship between the energy market and the grains? Because we see that price move for oil, and then that is directly reflected pretty much in the grain side of the market.
Yes, that is true, Mark. You can look at corn as an energy when it comes in the form of ethanol, and soybeans and a form of energy is soy diesel. Just with the energy markets going up pretty crazily here the last week or so with the war in Iran. Uh, the grains just kind of followed suit, and typically when we have a war type situation, that is friendly commodities in general.
And speaking of the conflict as well, obviously the oil price is probably the major commodity that is affected. And at the same time, we know that a lot of fertilizer moves through that area of the world. A lot of fertilizer comes from that area of the world. As it relates to that prospective plantings report at the end of the month, do you think with the fertilizer situation that will be enough to shift some of those acres from corn to soybeans? Have you and the team at agmarket.net had a chance to look into that?
We have dug into that a little bit. It feels like west of the Mississippi River, most producers have their inputs bought or actually in the ground already. We had a wonderful fall in winter to put the inputs on. We might see some change in acres in the Eastern Corn Belt. Folks I talked to in Ohio, Indiana, Tennessee, they normally don't buy as many inputs in the fall, so they kind of wait for this time of year. So it feels like maybe we're seeing some corn acres in the Eastern Corn Belt switch to soybeans, and we're also probably going to see some lost cotton and rice acres as they go to soybeans as well.
On the other side of the ag markets here today at midday, the cattle side of the trade was having some positive price movement, some movement to the upside. Is that how we closed today?
Yeah, the cattle market closed really strong. We've had a little bit of pressure here the last week, especially with the idea that the Greeley plant is going to go on a strike here. But some good technicals have held in. And then you could also argue corn has come well off its highs. So corn's coming down. Usually there's an inverse relationship to the cattle markets.
And then on the hog side of the market, what happened there today?
The hogs are finding some great support here, technically speaking, and they really look poised to go a little bit higher than what we saw in February. We have great demand on pork. Cutout prices are actually up on the week.
There's a lot to sift through right now in the way of information and reports. Jason, what's the best way for our listeners and viewers to get in touch for more marketing information?
The best way is to go to our website, eggmarket.net, and we'd be more than happy to speak with you. And I know these are challenging times. You got to make a quick decision with the markets moving as much as they are, but we're here to help you navigate these troubled waters.
Jason Meyer, agmarket.net, my guest here today. Thanks so much for the time. Always appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Mark. Everybody have a great day as well.